wrong. Why? Because we're selfish, and because of selfishness and ego consciousness, we're restless. And that restlessness is what causes and permeates all of our action. If we would take the attitude of someone else's, do for others, feel them as children of God, that would go away. But it's me and mine, me and mine. You check yourselves, you'll notice how often you say, come up and see my house. Ride in my automobile. I got a wonderful television set. How about the wife, Mrs.? So this gentleman came home one time, and he was always accustomed, I've told this here, but it'll go once more. He was always accustomed to me and mine, mine. He didn't mean anything by it, but nevertheless he felt that due to his habit. So he came home this night, and he came bursting in the kitchen. He says, darling, he says, is my supper ready? She gave it to him, good and hard. Pummeled him, knocked him down under the table. She says, take that, I'm sick and tired of everything mine, 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 mine. So after a while she says, what are you doing down there? Come up, get up, she says. Darling, he says, I'm hunting for our hat. So, next time you say me and mine, think of that story. Now, as long as a man lacks inner peace, he has a restless state of consciousness, and he inflicts that restlessness on others. And that leads to what? Periodic arguments, petty frustrations, and sometimes violence. Because he lacks that inner peace. And restlessness, unless it is curbed, continues, and, as you read the papers, sometimes leads to violence. And man, unless he has that inner peace, he contributes to others his restlessness. That's the worst of it. And yet a man who has attained inner peace and feels the presence of God, when he mixes with others, merges with others, he gives to them a solace. Why? Because he has inner peace. The great magnetic power of his inner peace flows just like Swami Ram said, peace like a river flows through me. And that peace like a river will flow from those who have the presence of God. It will flow to others, soothing them, because it is of God. Realize that. That's what we need. That's what the world needs. The story of the Bible comes to my mind about Abraham. We should do as Abraham did. Instead of trying to rule by this is it, this is the law, now do it. No, persuade people. Persuasion is much better. Because persuasion comes from the predominance of inner peace within you. If you have that inner peace, you can persuade people. If you say do it, they say I won't. That's natural. But if you feel the presence of God within you and you persuade them as Abraham did, you can get much more done than laying down the law. And so Abraham said to Lot, they had herds of sheep, and there was trouble between the herdsmen. And Abraham said to Lot, let there be no trouble between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for are we not all brothers? The most beautiful thing. And so, when you deal with other people, try rather to persuade them, feeling them as your brothers. And to do that, you must have that inner peace. Peace like a river flows through me. As it is with individuals, so it is with nations. In this world, we've been brought together by science and radio, scientific development, so that it ceases to become a matter of government. It is now an individual matter between you and between me. And peace will not come upon this earth until the hearts of men are changed. Until the hearts of men are changed. And they feel the presence of God. They feel that inner peace. And as we read in our scriptures this morning, the force of that inner peace is tremendous because it's a cosmic force. And so each one of us should change our hearts. And if the hearts of men are changed, world peace will come. Not until then. And there is no security. There is no security in worldly things. I'm sure we'll all agree on that. Because there cannot be. Because the world is transient. And this ego consciousness is transient. This outward consciousness is not lasting. It is not eternal. How can there be any lasting peace? There cannot be in worldly things. And where is the peace? Right within ourselves. God is cosmic peace, cosmic love, cosmic bliss. And so the peace is right within ourselves. The Master used to tell about the musk deer who smelt the musk in his own navel and tried to find it and searched here and there, running here and there, wore itself out until it was captured by the hunters. And where was the musk? Right within its own navel. And so with us. The musk of God's presence is right within ourselves. Remember that. The sweetness of God's presence, the inner peace, is right within ourselves. We do not have to find it somewhere. We have to increase, as our Master has said, our knowing of the presence of God within us. And so people need only one thing, and that's God. We all think if I had this, everything would be fine. We get that and everything's worse. Let's be sensible and reasonable. I used to deal in automobiles, not regularly, but kind of on the side. There was a time when you could buy them real cheap from year to year without spending too much money. And I'd get one and I'd say, this is it. It's wonderful. And after a while I'd begin to hear rattles and things weren't just right. And I'd get another. And finally I woke up and thought, well, the real peace is not in automobiles or not in this, not in that. About then the Master came on the scene and he told me where the real peace was. And I'm glad I had sense enough to follow him. And as he said, you will reach your goal, and by the grace of God and his blessing, it is so. And so as I tell you, it is there. It is there. Peace like a river flows through me. Let us all be living testimonies to the great work with which the Master has started. To the great work with which the Master has started. To the great work